Proverbs chapter 9, the choice between wisdom and folly. Proverbs chapter 9 presents a vivid and poetic contrast between the way of wisdom and the way of folly, using the powerful literary device of personification. It serves as a climactic conclusion to the first major section of the book of Proverbs, which is dedicated to urging the reader, particularly the young and inexperienced, to pursue wisdom above all else. The chapter frames this choice as a matter of life and death, portraying wisdom and folly as two women who each extend an invitation to the simple, but whose destinations could not be more different. The chapter begins with wisdom as a noble and industrious woman who has built her house and prepared a lavish banquet. The reference to 7 pillars emphasizes completeness and stability, suggesting that the house of wisdom is secure, well-structured, and enduring. She has not only built a place of shelter but also prepared a rich feast, slaughtering animals, mixing wine, and setting her table, indicating abundance, nourishment, and hospitality. Wisdom actively seeks out the simple, sending out her maidens to invite those who lack understanding. Her call is clear and generous: "Come, eat of my bread and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding." Here, the invitation is more than just a meal. It is a metaphor for accepting instruction, embracing truth, and choosing a life that is grounded in moral and spiritual discernment. In the middle portion of the chapter, the tone shifts to discuss how different types of people respond to correction. This section is essential because it reveals that wisdom is not just about knowledge, but about character. A scoffer, someone who mocks or resists truth, rejects correction and becomes hostile when rebuked. Trying to correct such a person often results in harm or scorn. In contrast, a wise person welcomes correction and grows from it. This distinction emphasizes that the pursuit of wisdom requires humility and a willingness to learn. The wise become wiser when taught, the just increase in learning. The key verse that follows, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding," serves as the theological foundation for all wisdom literature. It reminds the reader that true wisdom starts with a right relationship with God, rooted in reverence, awe, and submission. This fear is not about terror but about recognizing God's authority and moral order. The benefits of wisdom are also personal and profound. It brings long life, multiplies days, and leads to greater fulfillment. But the chapter also warns that everyone must bear the consequences of their choices. If one is wise, the reward is personal. If one scoffs, they alone will suffer the outcome. In stark contrast to wisdom, the final section introduces folly, depicted as a loud, ignorant, and seductive woman. Unlike wisdom, who builds and prepares, folly simply sits and calls out from the same elevated places. She mimics wisdom's invitation with almost identical words: "Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear." However, the content of her offer is strikingly different. Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Her appeal is to forbidden pleasure and secrecy, enticing the naive with promises of satisfaction that defy moral boundaries. But while her words may sound inviting, they are deeply deceptive. The chapter closes with a grim warning: those who accept her invitation are unaware that her house is filled with the dead, that her guests dwell in the depths of Sheol. This chilling image reinforces the ultimate danger of choosing folly. What seems sweet and pleasant in the moment leads to spiritual and even physical ruin. Proverbs 9, therefore, presents the reader with a moral and existential crossroads. Wisdom and folly both extend their hands, but their destinations are diametrically opposed. One leads to life, the other to death. The chapter does not leave room for neutrality, it demands a decision. Through rich imagery and moral clarity, it urges the reader to embrace wisdom, not merely as a set of intellectual principles, but as a life-giving path rooted in the fear of the Lord.
Chapter 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has also furnished her table. She has sent out her maidens. She cries out from the highest places of the city, "Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear." As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, "Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself, and he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. If you are wise for yourself, and if you scoff, you will bear it alone. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing. For she sits at the door of her house, on a seat by the highest places of the city, to call to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear. And as for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell.